Hi BookTube! My name is Sarah and welcome to the Bookish Knitter and welcome to another Saturday chatty video. So, very exciting. You guys have asked for this. I wasn't exactly sure what you wanted me to do because I have done a kind of like you were asking me to do a kind of an update to my beginner's guide to category romance video. But since I did that video, which I will leave linked in the description box below, not a lot has changed within Harlequin category romance. But I know a lot of you wanted me to talk about this, especially with it being the Retro Romance Readathon and, you know, like what is category and stuff like that. I don't want to repeat myself because I have done a video on that recently. I have done my beginner's guide to category romance. Again, I'll leave both those videos below where I talk about all the different imprints that are being offered by Harlequin. So I got thinking about it over the last few days and I decided what I want to actually do is compare Harlequin to Mills and Boon, because I talk predominantly about Harlequin here because I live in Canada. I'm in North America, and Harlequin is North American. Mills and Boon is UK, Australian, and I believe other countries. I think Harlequin is the only branch, if you will, that is North American. So Mills and Boon actually came first. That whole chicken and the egg thing. Mills and Boon, I think, was founded in like 1903 or 1902. I don't remember what year it was. I did look it up on Wikipedia, which is, you know, such a great source of knowledge. But I did look it up the other day, and I think it was the early 1900s by a man named Mr. Mills and Mr. Boon. And they just kind of started out as a free-for-all kind of publishing company. And they were publishing all kinds of different books. And then they realized, like, romance really seemed to be doing very well for them. Harlequin was started in 1949 in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. I remember the year, the same year my dad was born. But, so they started in Winnipeg, eventually moved offices to here in Toronto. And I think it was in the early 1970s that Harlequin actually acquired Mills and Boon. So even though Mills and Boon came first, Harlequin acquired them later on, and now they are all owned, to my understanding, by HarperCollins. In that time, over those years, Harlequin, because they were a juggernaut, they were huge, and Mills and Boon acquired a lot of smaller other companies as well. Simon & Schuster had Silhouette. So a lot of you who've been reading Harlequin, Mills and Boon category romances for a while might be familiar with the old Silhouette Desire novels, or the fact that, you know, it used to be the Silhouette Special Edition, which is now Harlequin Special Edition, or Silhouette Romance. They had like, for a while there, they were like those white covers, and then they went to like this greeny blue color, and they were very sweet romances. I like those ones quite a bit, and I know a lot of people got their start reading those when they were like early teens. Like their mothers would be like, you can read these ones because they were relatively tame in comparison to a lot of the other books. So anyway, Harlequin bought out the Silhouette branch of Simon & Schuster and published the books. And up until, I want to say even 10 years ago, that they were still under the Silhouette banner. So it was still Silhouette, you know, Desire or Silhouette Special Edition. And Silhouette Intimate Moments was like a big deal. And that was actually ended up becoming Harlequin Romantic Suspense, the Harlequin Romantic Suspense line. So, I mean, not all of this is 100% accurate. I'm going off of my memory from what I've read, and I've been reading up on this because I find it really fascinating. You know, the buyouts and how things change, and, you know, within publishing and within especially category romance, there were a lot of other companies. Zebra had a category romance line. There was Candlelight Ecstasy Romances, Signet Regency romances that Steve Donahue loves so much. Those are great. I have some of those on my shelf as well. Love Swept, which is where Jill Shalvis got her start. And there were also teen ones as well. There was like Sweet Dreams, which was published by Bantam. And I mean, to a very much lesser extent, I would say Sweet Valley, because, you know, for teenagers, because they were, you know, they did follow a storyline, but each book could be read individually and they were part of a larger group of books, whatever. So, you know, there's been a lot of change and a lot of things going on. And, you know, originally back in the day, what would happen is that Mills and Boon would publish a book and then Harlequin would acquire the rights for it to publish it here in North America. So it'd be published in the UK first. So if you look at an old, and I don't have any in front of me, if you look at an old, pause please. Sorry about that, friends, but I do like a visual. So this is Green Paddocks by Jane Corey. This is a Harlequin romance, number 2053. So one off of my shelves. I just grabbed it at random. So way back in the 70s, 60s, 70s, what would happen is Mills and Boon would publish these first, and then Harlequin would acquire the rights for them to publish here in North America. So if you look at the inside cover here, what it actually says is original hardcover edition published in 1976 by Mills and Boon Limited. And then it says Harlequin edition published in March of 1977. So that's weird. 79. I don't have my glasses on. In March of 79. So about a year later, Harlequin acquired the rights to publish this one here in North America. So they did that for quite some time. And all of the stories pretty much took place in the UK or overseas. You didn't see any stories that took place here in North America. And then, like, there were some other imprints, like I mentioned Candlelight Ecstasy and stuff, which were a much higher heat level, which people were really enjoying. And you got more North American settings, and they noticed that these were selling a lot. So Harlequin contracted or hired, if you will, the author Janet Daly, which I'm sure anyone who reads romance has heard of Janet Daly. And she began writing for them. And famously, Harlequin actually turned down a manuscript by Nora Roberts because they said that they already had their North American author. So eventually things changed, and, you know, now you get authors from all over the world are writing for Harlequin / Mills and Boon. So in this video, sorry, I'm already rambling on. In this video, I'm going to go through each of the current imprints from Harlequin because those are the ones that I know. They're the ones that I am familiar with and I look at a daily basis. And I'm going to compare them to the lines for Mills and Boon and Mills and Boon Australia. So Mills and Boon UK and Mills and Boon Australia. So I think those are the big three, you know, because they do differ. Mills and Boon UK differs from Australia, which I find very interesting. So, yeah, I picked one book at random from each of these lines and then compared and then found those books on the other websites to see, because the imprints are different, the way they are published are different, and I just find that fascinating. So we're going to start with, I'm doing this in alphabetical order, but I'm skipping Desire. There's a reason for that, and I will get to that at the end of this video, and I'm still a little upset about it. I have to admit, but I will talk about that at the end of the video. So, Harlequin heartwarming novels. I'm not going to get into what all of these imprints are. Again, I do an entire video on that. It will be linked below. Please go and check that one out if you want more of a background of what each of these imprints are and what you can expect from them. Right now, I'm kind of going through formatting and stuff like that. So, Harlequin heartwarming, I'm going to flash a picture up here on the screen, is of what you would see if you go on the harlequin.com website here in North America. So, these books are available both as an ebook and a large print book, large print paperback. You cannot get these regular, like, they are chunkies. Like, they come in at 384 pages, I think, when it comes, when you're talking about the print books. So they are also only available online. You cannot buy these in stores in North America. In the UK, these are not available at all, to my understanding. You might find the odd one here and there, but overall, these books are not available in the UK. In Australia, they are published as either the Heart line or the Western line. So if it's like a cowboy romance, it's under their Western line. If it is a non-cowboy romance, it's under their Heart line. And they are published both as ebooks and 2-in-1 editions. So where you get 2 full stories in one print book. Next up, we have the Harlequin historical line. This is available, of course, in North America, both as an ebook and a print book. And we are now just getting them back in stores. Years and years and years ago in North America, we had them in stores. I was in Walmart this morning. I'll flash the video here. We do now have them back in stores, and I am so happy about this. So in the UK, they are also known, of course, as the historical line. They are published both as an ebook, a paperback, and a hardback large print edition, which is, I think you can only get off the Mills and Boon website, but that would be, especially if it's an author you really like to be able to collect them all as a large print hardcover. Very cool. And I'm sure that those are probably also predominantly bought for libraries, maybe in the UK. In Australia, they are also the Harlequin, or the historical line, excuse me. and they are published also as an ebook and as a 2-in-1. So yeah, the Harlequin historicals are pretty much universal. You know, they're a favorite of everybody. I did, luckily enough, a year ago, have the chance to speak with the current editor of the historical line, and my one sadness from this line that I loved was they took away the Western romance, like those frontier romances that you would get that were representative of North America. And they stopped publishing those for various reasons, but the biggest one being that their predominant audience was in the UK and in Europe. And that wasn't something that appealed to them. You are starting to see more North American stories now, which is very exciting. Some big pieces in history, like the Civil Rights Movement and stuff like that, which I think is fantastic. So yeah, they're not just your grandmother's Regencies. These are changing around quite a bit. There is a famous one that I have to mention here because she is my favorite author, which is Laurie Robinson. And no, it's not the one that a lot of you are thinking, which is Diary of a War Bride, which is still hands down my favorite category romance of all time. But Saving Mariana by Laurie Robinson. I read this book. It was the most fun trash I have read. This book takes place during the Salem witch trials. A romance during the Salem witch trials. That's all I'm going to say. Read it for fun. You can get it on ebook. It's a delight. Moving on, the Harlequin Intrigue line, which is a favorite of mine. Here in North America, you can get it as ebook, paperback, and large print. In the UK, it is known as the Heroes line, and you can get it as an ebook. So when I say ebook, it's an individual book, like just that one book as an ebook, or as a 2-in-1 print book. And in Australia, it is also called the Intrigue line, and you get it again as an ebook or a 2-in-1 print book. So yeah, you guys know how much I love the Intrigue line. Again, I'm not going to get into the particulars of each of these imprints. Again, it's been asked, and I'm going to do it in a couple weeks. I have a special video coming next Saturday, but the week after that, I am going to be doing a video that compares intrigue to romantic suspense. So you guys can kind of get an idea of what the differences and similarities are with them. The line is beginning to get blurred, which I have thoughts on, but I have thoughts on many things, but I don't like change is pretty much my biggest thought. But I will get into that in a couple of weeks. Next up, medical, the Harlequin medical line. Pretty straightforward. Here in North America, you can get them as ebook and as large print books. Again, these are not available in stores, unfortunately. In the UK, they are, of course, also known as the medical line. You can get them as ebooks and as a 2-in-1 print book. And in Australia, you can also get them as the medical line, as an ebook, and also a 2-in-1 print book. So pretty standard across the board, much like the historical line. Harlequin presents. In my opinion, this is the most recognizable and well-known line that Harlequin does. Here in North America, you get that very iconic circle cover, like the cover with the circle, which you can probably see in the picture that I'm posting up here. So these are available in North America as an ebook, a paperback, and a large print paperback. And yeah, these are a lot of fun. Again, this line has been around. I think it was the second line ever brought out by Harlequin. So you had the original romance line, which is, you know, this one, and then came the presents line. So in the UK, these are known as the modern line, and these are available as both an ebook and as a 2-in-1 print book. Also available in Australia under the name Modern, Mills and Boon Modern, and they are a ebook and a large print book as well. Yeah, ebook and large print is how they're available in Australia. Harlequin Romance. The iconic original Harlequin Romance line. The pink spine books. I'm holding this one up and this one up in the the thumbnail for this video. So this one came out in February of 2020, and it's Falling for Her French Tycoon by Rebecca Winters. So the iconic pink romance line. Here in North America, of course, I will pop a picture up here. You can get these in ebook or in large print. These are also not available in stores. So if you want to buy the physical editions, you have to get them either off of Amazon or, of course, the Harlequin website itself. So yeah, so it says right there, it's labeled as a large print, and you can tell it's a larger print. So yeah, in the UK, This is known as the True Love line, and it's available in both an ebook and as a 2-in-1 print book. So this one was sent to me by the lovely Rachel Stewart. So it's Surprise Reunion with His Cinderella and Therese Bahari's Awakened by the CEO's Kiss. So again, a 2-in-1 book. So you're getting the 2 books in one. These are not large print or anything at all like that. But again, it's Mills & Boon True Love. So, okay. And then in the UK, just for funsies, it's called the Forever line. And it's only available as an ebook. So there you go. This is kind of why I wanted to do this, because I thought it was kind of really interesting to look at it in this context. Next up, the Harlequin Romantic Suspense line. Here in North America, these are available as ebooks and paperback books. In the UK, these are also known as the Heroes line. So in the UK, they combine both intrigue and romantic suspense under one imprint and publish them that way. And they are only available, to my understanding, as ebooks. And then in Australia, they are romantic suspense again. And they are available both as ebooks and as 2-in-1 print books. Harlequin Special Edition, which is one of my absolute favorites. Here in North America, they're available as ebooks and paperbacks. In the UK, these also go under the name True Love, which is very interesting. So they've combined Special Edition with the romance line, and they're all under the True Love banner. And they are only available, though, as ebooks. So with the romance True Love ones, you can get as print copies, but the special editions you can only get as ebook copies. And in Australia, again, just for funsies, these are called the Heart line, and they are, of course, only also known, and they are also only published as ebooks. Now we're getting into the ones where you're not going to see these ones really in the UK, and that's the Love Inspired line, which is the faith-based Christian fiction lines. So for the Love Inspired line itself, you can get these, of course, here in North America as ebooks, paperback books, large print books, and true large print books. They're labeled, if you look at like the picture I have up here, it says larger print twice. One of the prices is a little bit higher. That's because you're getting it like this. As opposed to a book that's this size, that's large print, you're getting it as this. It's a true large print, which are really fun. So yeah, these are great. Anytime I see these at the thrift store, I automatically pick them up because I love them. In the UK, not available at all. Now, if you go on Mills & Boon, you can find some older ones as ebooks, but not anything recently being published. Let's put it that way. And in Australia, these, you can get them as a single ebook under the name Love Inspired, or depending on the book, you can get them as either a Western or a Love Inspired, and they come in ebook, a 2-in-1 ebook, or a 2-in-1 print book. So if the book has to deal with like cowboys or a ranch or something Western, the picture that I've got up here should give you an idea of that. This is published under the Western, thing, which was also what the Heartwarming line is published under in the UK or in Australia. But it does say in the corner, you can't see it in this is a smaller picture. I suggest you maybe go on the website if you want more information. And I'll leave link to both Harlequin, Mills & Boon UK, and Mills & Boon Australia below. It does say Love Inspired in the corner, so you know that you are getting a faith-based novel. Love Inspired Suspense, pretty much exactly the same thing. In North America, ebook, print book, large print, and true large print. In the UK, not available at all, but you might be able to find some older ones. And in Australia, they are as a single ebook. They are the Love Inspired name. As a 2-in-1 book, it is under the Romantic Suspense line. And then, but there's a note, like a thing in the corner that shows that this book is definitely a love-inspired novel, so you know what you're getting. Because not everybody wants Christian fiction and vice versa. So anyway, last but not least, I'm ending with the Desire line. And I'm ending with the Desire line because the Desire line, sadly, is ending. I am not happy about this. I think there's a lot of people who feel the same way. There is a new line that is coming from Harlequin in 2024. I don't have a lot of information on the line. They're labeling it as a sexy new contemporary line. I don't know. It seems, from what I've heard, it just seems very convoluted to me. Like, they're trying to do a lot of things. The thing about category romance is that you know what you're getting when you pick up a book. When you pick up an intrigue novel, you know that you are going to be getting a suspenseful story with a romance. You know, it's under so many pages, blah, blah, blah. When you pick up a presents novel, it's usually a billionaire, you know, with potentially his maid or his secretary. Often secret baby or baby by, you know, accidental pregnancy kind of an idea in a very exotic location. But where, from this new line, which I don't have a name for yet, or I haven't heard it yet, it just seems like there's a lot going on, and it's like they're trying to be a whole bunch of things, like a smorgasbord, if you will. And because they're bringing this in, they're getting rid of Desire. It's been announced. Desire ends at the end of this year. Desire has been around since, I think, 1982, under the Silhouette banner. It has been around forever. The first book in the Desire line was written by, I think the author's written on the book as Sandra? No. Stephanie something or other? But it's actually Jane Ann Krantz. Wrote the first Silhouette Desire book. And they are fun. The newer ones are really great. They often deal with billionaires. Not necessarily exotic locations, more North American locations like Chicago and New York and Miami and places like that. But they're still great books. Like, and I've always said that the covers of those books always remind me of like grown-up prom. Like, the dresses are gorgeous. The guys are usually very well dressed as well. I mean, and you get a lot of Maisie Yates. I mean, that's the book that I'm going to be popping up here for you guys to see, is a Maisie Yates book, and she writes cowboys. But these are wealthy rancher cowboys, not your down and dirty heartwarming cowboy, you know what I mean? So yeah, I am really upset about this going away. It's been a staple for over 40 years in category romance, and the fact that it's leaving just seems almost surreal to me in a way. And I could go on and complain about this, or, you know, I shouldn't say too much because I haven't seen the new line yet, but I'm still sad that they're getting rid of it. So because they're getting rid of it here in North America, what they have gone down to is how this used to be published was as ebook and paperback books. Like, so one, if, you know, it was a Maisie Yates book, you'd get it in both ebook and paperback. But going forward, they're going to be doubling up. So you're, just like they do in the UK with these 2-in-1 editions, they're going to be doing the same thing here in North America. So they are also known as Desire in the UK and in Australia, and they're published as ebooks singly and as 2-in-1s, paperback, in both countries. But in Australia, they are actually large print editions, which is very exciting. So, yeah, I mean, I think, and I, you know, I didn't know this, but I was talking to Bree, who now with Aaron does the Categorically Romance podcast that I used to be on. And she was mentioning to me that Timothy Janowski is writing one of the books for this new line. And I'm like, oh, yeah, he wrote that book in December that I DNF'd because I didn't like it. And I think that might be part of it, too. It's like, I don't know. I don't like change. And, you know, it's one thing like when Dare came in. When they got rid of Blaze, I was really upset because I really, really liked the Blaze line. And then they brought in Dare, and Dare was so much different. Blaze was so fun and flirty, whereas Dare was a lot more 50 Shades of Grey. You know, darker stories, which is fine. I mean, there's a market for that clearly, but they didn't market it very well because it didn't last that long. And when it ended a few years ago, I really wasn't that upset about it because I really wasn't a huge fan. And Rachel Stewart wrote for the Dare line, and I've read some of her books for the Dare line, and they were great. But she's now, of course, writing for the True Love, which doesn't sound like you go from Dare to True Love, but these books can get quite spicy now. So, yeah, anyway, I just wanted to mention that at the end because Dare is going to be leaving. Luckily, we have a plethora of them available as ebooks that we can pick up and still read. And, you know, used bookstores, thrift books, all those great places are going to be great to be able to find them. It was just such a staple for so long. I just can't see Harlequin without Desire. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's what it is that's bugging me. Anyway, what am I currently reading, you guys? Speaking of 2-in-1 books, I am currently reading Kansas City Cop by Julie Miller. I'm only about a chapter into this one. This is a 2-in-1. I've shown it before. So I am about yay far into it, but I'm only reading the first book. and I'm actually hoping to get it done today, so we shall see. But anyway, guys, that is it. I do hope that you enjoyed this and you found it semi-informative. It wasn't too confusing. Like I said, I will leave link below to my original category romance video talking about all the different lines and what you can expect from each of them, along with my Ghosts of Harlequin's Past video that I loved, that I did one Halloween, what talks about all the lines that have now left and are no longer available. New books aren't being published, essentially. And like I said, I'll leave link to Harlequin, Mills & Boon UK, and Mills & Boon Australia, so you guys can go and check out the stuff for yourselves. This is not definitive. This is not, yes, this is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, even within the lines themselves, maybe there's a book that's published here in North America under romance. It might be published as something else or not published at all in the UK or Australia. So your mileage may vary, my friends. But anyway, that's all that I have for today. I do hope that you enjoyed it. Take care and happy reading, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Bye, guys.